Let's learn how we can create date table using calendar and calendar auto functions and what is the difference between them. So I'll create a new date table. We call it date, and I'll use the function calendar auto. Okay. So with calendar auto, I don't need to pass any other argument. It just need to press enter and it'll create the date table, and it will create the date table based on all the dates from my existing data model, and it'll find the minimum date across all the columns and the maximum date across all the columns, and it'll create the range with that. Currently, this is giving me range from 1st of January 2023 till 31st of December 2024. This is coming because we have in our data model, we have another table, sales table, where we have the column order date. It is looking at the minimum and the maximum from the order date column, and it is adding that into the date table. In the current model, this works absolutely perfectly because we have only one date column. Okay, so we don't need to worry about, we simply can use this calendar auto function and it'll do the job for us. We can create the remaining date columns like month, year, quarters, etc., etc. But we don't need to do any other changes in calculating the date table. But if we have multiple date columns in our data model, then this can become tricky. Let's look at that. Now you can see that we have two date columns instead of one. We have the order date and we have the stock date. And now the calendar auto function will find the minimum date among both these columns and the maximum date among both these columns to create that date table. So if we go to the calendar auto function now, look, this is now starting from 1st of January 2001 instead of 2023. And this is not what we want. So here we will not use calendar auto, we'll update and we'll use the calendar function. Calendar function. In calendar function, you can specify what your start date and end date to be. I can give a fixed start date and end date like a date function with year, let's say 2023, month as 1 and day as 1, and end date with date column, date function with year 2024, month as 12 and day as 31st. Now this will give me the range that I'm looking for. This is starting from 1st of January 2023 all the way till 24th of December, 31st of December 2024. But this is still hard coded. I don't want it to be hard coded. I want it to be automated so that when the data in the order date changes, it should also be reflected in the date table. So instead of hard coding, I will make it dynamic. I will, instead of doing this, I'll create variables here. I'll create a variable for start date, which is minimum value from the order date column and variable end date to be the maximum value from the order date column. And now I want to return calendar function with start date as the variable start date and end date as the variable end date. And now this is fully automated. Now this has not changed because we already had this same range, but this is now fully automated. And this is the best way of managing the dates with the calendar function. Thank you and see you in the next video.